just to design the concepts. Okay, now what we are going to see in this video is the unified process. So it is a use case driven, architecture centric, iterative and incremental software process closely aligned with the unified modeling language UML to model and develop object oriented system iteratively and incrementally. So actually what it is mean is UML is a unified modeling language that gives many tools and notations to mention the software development process from the specification till the development and the maintenance also. So in order to mention and specify and design the process, we are using the unified modeling language. It has a specific tools and rules to specify the software process. So let us see how the process model works. Here we are having these modules. So the first is the inception. Here inception we are having planning and communication. So we know that before starting any work we have to plan the work, and then that plan may be we had planned for the software, we have planned for the software, the staff, the cost, the resources, everything has to be planned and specified. And for that we have the communication between the customer and the developer. So this planning and the communication phase, it goes in a circular fashion. So one is the inception, where we have the part of communication and planning. Then elaboration. Once they plan the work that has to be done, they will elaborate the plan, they'll just develop the model. So once the model is done, they'll go for the construction. In the construction we have two phases, construction and transition. So once they construct, the system will go to the next phase, that is the transition. So when it comes to the higher level or the transition level, it will it will be given the deployment stage. What is deployment? Is implementing the software or the product in the customer site. So once it is done, they will release the one version of the software, one increment of the software product. Then after that, this goes in a spiral way using all the unified modeling language UML tools and techniques. It will specify all the software processing phase. Okay, let us see what are all the components and how the phase goes in concurrent way. So here we have seen the 5 phases: inception, elaboration, construction, transition and production. And here we have, these are all the process, which is the requirements, analysis, design, implementation, testing and support. So here this processes goes on iteratively. That means it is repeated for many times, and then it will be able to develop a refined product. So this diagram actually specifies how the phases overlap with one another and how the workflow goes in the X and the Y direction. So in the chart it is mentioned as in the inception space, that is the initial stage, all the requirements are planned. So when the communication is done between when the user and the customer and the developer communicates, they will specify about the requirements. So once the requirements is identified, they will just go for an elaboration of the requirements, how they are going to get the requirements done. Okay, so it's like a modeling phase. So these requirements, inception and elaboration, during these phases this requirements analysis is kept on repeatedly. They have been focused till some level of construction. So okay, this is the meaning of this diagram, that is spread through inception till the construction, which is the requirement phase. Next come to the analysis phase. The analysis phase, initially we cannot analyze anything, so it will start only after some period of the inception. Okay, so after some planning is done by the communication between the customer and the developer, the analysis phase starts, and this phase extends till the elaboration completely and also to some level of construction. That means some model has been done based upon the analysis, and then accordingly they have started constructing the code. Okay, so here there is no transition or production phase. Now come to the design level. In the design phase, it is overlapped by the inception, only a part of the inception, because they may have some refined planning after some time. After analyzing the requirements, they have come to some improved planning. So that is done in the design phase. A little of inception, maybe the communication between the customer and the developer. So here elaborately the whole thing of construction and the modeling is done. That is the design phase. Okay, that may be an architectural design or detailed design. So all the design work is done in the elaboration and the construction phase, and just a transition starts because you have designed something. The transition phase starts. Okay, and now coming to the implementation phase, once the design is over, we are going to code the particular product. So once you complete the coding also, we are going to implement, that is, we are going to deploy it. So when you are going to deploy the process, there is no way of any inception, so no planning is done here. So the planning phase or communication phase is empty because everything is done and it is over. And some elaboration may happen because we may extend the model and we can also extend the code. So the construction goes in the full stretch in these particular phases, and then the transition starts. Once you implement the particular product in the particular customer site, the transition takes place. That means the customer learned the product and they will start giving some feedback on the process or the product they are using. So that is about the implementation phase. Still there is no production. And then coming to the test stage, once the test, during the test phase, there is no inception because all the planning is over, all the modeling is over. Only we are just going to construct the code and we are going to test the software. So this constitutes the construction phase and totally the transition phase. So once you test the software or the product, you'll be able to give some feedback on that, and you'll be able to make a complete transition on how we are going to finalize the product development. So here also some part of the production starts. So every part of this, here this is a bar graph. It's showing the level of this inception and how the requirement phase goes. So this staircase look will give you how the requirements goes up, and then this during the requirements phase, how the inception goes to the higher level and how the elaboration starts, and then finally it will end with the construction phase. Likewise, in the analysis, initially there is no inception, only part of the inception is done because planning is already over. So it will start with the analysis. So elaboration, so the total product is all about the modeling the work, that is the analysis. So it is done in a full-fledged over here. So construction starts little bit. So this bar graph shows how that is the staircase appearance, shows how gradually the work goes in different phases. Okay, so likewise in the testing phase, initially some part of elaboration is done, maybe some modeling may be done in some part of here, and then fully construction goes on and the transition happens, and the transition also happens and it will come to some final stage. The transition is over. So once the transition is over, it will come to the production stage. Okay, it will have a small portion of production happens. Now when coming to the support stage, here everything is empty. That means there is no planning, no designing, no construction and no transition, because everything is done in the previous stages. Now from the transition stage, the phase goes to the production phase. So in the support, the full production is done and the product is delivered to the customer. Okay, so now the work products are shown in this diagram. So inception phase, what all they can do is vision document. That is the vision about the future, how we have what we are going to develop. That is the vision document. Use case model. First they will model with all the object concepts, and the project glossary. Glossary is the terms, new terms they are going to use in the particular product. Business case, what are all the business terms they are going to use, and the risk assessment. If you develop this product this in particular way, what is the risk they are going to come across, and then the project plan. So the phases and the iterations. So how many times you are going to develop or how many iterations it is going to happen to get the final product, and the business model, and also if it is possible they can build the prototype also. Prototype like a simulation of the model, because it is not possible for all the cases. For some product the prototype is possible. These are all the components of the inception phase. There we are having the communication and the planning. So when the customer and the developer communicate with one another, they can plan for all these parts. Okay, and then elaboration phase, they are using the case model, they are looking over the supplementary requirements, using the non-functional also. Analysis model, the architecture is designed, the detailed design is done, and then they will have a revised risk list, and then the project plan. So how to achieve the milestone, and when you are going to release one part of the software, and when the version is going to be released. So all these things are done in the project plan, including iteration plan, adaptive workflows, milestones, technical work products, and preliminary user manual. So initially, once they develop a model, a preliminary user manual is developed. So manual, we know the purpose of manual is to how to operate the software. Okay. And then workflows are the thing how to use the product and get the workflow done. So that is the adapted workflows. And the milestones, what are all the things you are going to reach at a specific point of time. These all come under the elaboration phase. Then coming to the construction phase, really the design is done, design model is done, software components are developed, the integrated software, that means the software's individual parts or the models are combined to make integrated software product, and then the test plans are carried out, and then procedures are formed, and test cases are developed. What is test plan and test cases? What test we are going to do, at what time we are going to do, that is called as a test plan. And what are the test cases? What are all the cases you are going to follow the test? For example, a simple example to say, suppose you are using the if condition. So we are going to check for all the branches of the if condition as well as the else process. If that is the case, how it is going to work, else how it is going to work. So all the paths are explored in the test cases, and then they have to develop the supporting documentation for the product. That is the user manual, installation manual, and the description of the current increment. So previously what was the stage in the transition, now how much have been improved, and what is the procedure for installation in the particular product. There's the installation manual as well as the user manual, how to use the product. And finally, coming to the transition phase, it will give the delivered software increment. That means from the previous phase, how much the improvement is made, what is the improved software they can develop. That is the transition phase. Beta tester reports. So beta tester report is actually in the customer side, what is the people, the user feels about the particular product. That is the beta tester report, and the general user feedback. Once the user use the product, they can give their feedback. It will be positive or negative. Based on that particular feedback, they will be able to reiterate the process to finally get the good software product. So that's all the unified process model, and thanks for watching.